Hello, I'm Scott Bulkey here with Byrne ahead of his upcoming fight against Sherwan Khalid. How are you doing today?
Doing good, Scott. Thanks for having me on again.
And how are you feeling ahead of this fight?
Feeling good, feeling excited. 2 more weeks now before it goes down. Just looking forward to getting back in there. Small little layoff, from my last fight this year back in February, but been training hard, been staying consistent since then, and just really excited to get back in the cage in 2 weeks' time.
Exactly. And you are stepping outside of Ireland this time. You're heading over to Denmark. How has that been to be able to explore these different opportunities outside of Ireland?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I am loving it. And this is my third professional fight now, and it was one of my goals to actually travel with fighting this year as well. So it's nice to tick that box. It's nothing new to me really. Like I've traveled all over the place for fighting in the
Yeah.
past. I've traveled, over to the UK there for the last couple of AMI fights I had. Been over to the Middle East. Been over to other parts of Europe. So yeah, no, this is my first time heading over to Copenhagen. Really looking forward to going over there fighting, and it's exciting. I'm bringing a big crowd with me as well over to Copenhagen. So yeah, we'll see how we get on, but super excited, Jeff, for to experience that true fighting.
And how does it feel like you're saying, you're bringing a big crowd over to Copenhagen? It's not just
Yeah.
an easy just trip over the water. It is a longer flight. They have to get the hotels. You have to stay overnight. How big is it knowing that you do have that following to come over with you?
Yeah, it's always nice, I don't need a crowd behind me. I
Yeah,
don't care where I have to go for a fight. I travel across the world for a fight if I knew it was a good opportunity for me. But to know I have that extra bit of support coming over, making that effort, there is really nice. It's that extra little boost heading over all through camp, and then knowing there's people out there in the crowd shouting for you as well. It's a pretty good feeling, and yeah, it's something that I do appreciate, from all my friends and family and support that come over.
it just seems like with Irish MMA, you've all got these big followings as well. You all just come together as a community to support each other. You've got, like you're saying, you got that big community coming over to Copenhagen in the last Cage Warrior show. It was basically a
Yeah.
sellout. How big is MMA for you guys?
I think it's huge, like there's been such an explosion of talent, transitioning from amateur to professional over the last couple of years. Um Myself and a lot of the lads out of the gym
Yeah.
included, and like plenty of other gyms all across Dublin, all across Ireland, there's been a huge explosion. So, I think like there's been a lot of people doing it for many years now through amateur, obviously holding on to all that support and stuff from their friends and family, and garnering attention from other people as well, just from their fights. And there's so many of us out here at the moment. I think yeah, I really think there's a big spot, a big space, and a big amount of attention on Irish MMA, especially now at the moment. I'd say the next Cage Warriors now in Dublin probably sell out pretty soon, so I'll be looking forward to seeing that one too.
And you are currently 2-0. You've got Solomon
Yep.
Simon, the undefeated, I think 7-0, I think, maybe 8-0. You've got Kieran
Yep.
Brady, undefeated, Max Ali. You've just got Alexander O'Sullivan, Keith Kenna. You've just got a whole bunch of talent just coming through the ranks now, coming into the professional scene. What is your guys' secret to be able to implode into the world?
I think like all the lads that you named there, like every single last one of them, we got put through the fire in the amateur level of fight, of MMA. Most of those lads would have fought all over the world along with myself, like for maybe IMAF competitions, different shows all across the UK and Europe. And really like, plenty of fights there. I don't know, there's probably close to 100 amateur fights between just the lads that you listed there. So like all that experience really just comes to show when that transition is made to the professional level. So I think that's why there is such such a high quality of fighter coming out of Ireland at the moment. Train with Saul all through the week. So he'd be one of my main training partners. So he's doing absolutely brilliantly at the moment. Same with Jamie. Really looking forward to the two lads fighting now in the next couple of weeks. And it's just like that's the caliber of the lads that we're training with, that we're fighting against as well, at the amateur level. So like the sword sharpens the sword. So when you're around that all the time, like it's a no brainer that like everyone's level is gonna come up with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And like you're saying, you are that big community. I'm guessing as soon as you finish with this fight, you'll be straight back on that jet, coming back to Dublin and being able to help Saul be able to train for his fight coming up on the Cage Warriors fight.
Yeah, yeah, 1,000,000%. I'm a bit of an addict as well when it comes to training. I find it quite hard to switch off, and plus as well, like I want to keep that momentum going for myself. So
Yeah.
it's as much as helping the lads out, because I know the lads are going to be there to help me out as well after their fights, and you know what I mean, and they're back to training, because you always have to be ready. An opportunity could come up, within the early couple of weeks after this fight for me. And I need to be ready to take any opportunity that comes my way as well, So yeah, I'll be straight back to anyway after a few cakes and a few burgers over in Copenhagen.
And you speak about that momentum. Obviously, that is
Yeah.
a big thing in the cage because all you do have, I think it's like Tommy Kazuri, who fought in the
Yeah.
contender series last night, and DC was just saying the one thing he has coming into this fight is the fact he's been active, he's been in the cage, he's got that familiarity. Do you feel like that is the case? That you were a bit, you have got a wee bit of a layoff since your last fight, but you are looking for quick turnarounds.
Yeah, like I had that small layoff, but that was really, it wasn't even really down to myself. My last fight bleeding 20, 30 seconds long, super, super quick. Like I was ready to fight again that night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No injuries, nothing like that. So I sort of piggybacked off that, and not coming out unscathed really. And helping the lads get ready for the last Cage Warriors in Dublin. So that camp was back to back with the lads' camp for Cage Warriors. I thought I would have gotten an opportunity a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, I didn't. But that didn't stop my own momentum with training and with improving myself as a fighter in that time. And I was getting in my head a bit, and I was like, "Oh, bleed! I need to get another fight here." I'm getting a bit frustrated, a bit annoyed, just sitting around waiting around for a fight. And I was doing my best. I was chasing a load of different promoters all over Europe, to try getting different fights in France, Germany, Poland, all these places, and it just wasn't working out for me. But it was only about 4 or 5 months now, to be honest, and I know there's plenty of lads out there who are having much longer layoffs, like 6 months to a year to more than a year, getting injuries, stuff like that. So thankfully, that wasn't my case. And like I said, I was able to piggyback off all of the other lads' training camps in the gym, stay fit, stay ready. And when this opportunity came up, I was ready to hop on it, and that's just my the mind space I'm in with it. Like I'm gonna be ready after this fight. I'll definitely, like, give myself a bit of time to recover just after the long camp and stuff like that. But I'll
Yeah.
be I'll be ready for any opportunity that might come up afterwards.
So when are you kind of looking to get back into that octagon, as long as you do stay healthy?
Look, if I can get in one more time before the end of the year, if my body allows it, if my schedule allows it, I'll be more than happy to jump back in there. Like I'd be happy enough to fight within a month or two of this fight, to be honest, if any opportunities arose. So I'm gonna stay ready after this fight, Scott, and see what happens. If not, we'll be going early anyway next year, and we'll be staying on top of that momentum. I'd like to get 3 to 4 fights next year as well, to be honest.
And like you said, you are like to say that momentum. Ireland's got that momentum going forward just now. You've got the guys doing it in the PFL. You've got Will Fleury doing his thing over an octagon, that heavyweight champion, flying that flag. Do you feel like having these guys at the top level, you've got Solomon Simon and the guys in Cave Warriors, do you feel like that's just opening the door for you guys to have more opportunities in these organizations as well?
Yeah, come here. It's great to see. your fellow country people, going out there and putting on big performances, and people starting to speak about the country in a good light when it comes to sport, when it comes to MMA, and that just leads to more exposure for other fighters like myself and other lads that are coming up at the moment, more opportunities, hopefully more shows coming out of the Ireland as well, and that just leads to more fighting opportunities for all of us lads, and getting more exposure for the whole country, that are competing at the sport.
Now, I'm going to get your take on this fight. It's not been official. I know there was a bit of speculation on the Instagram today from Sean Brady, who said that Ian Gary was putting his feet on the ground, not trying to sign the deal, sign the fight. If that fight does become official, who do you have getting the win?
You know what? I rate both of the lads. I really rate Sean Brady's jiu-jitsu, and I really rate Ian Gardy as an all-around fighter. Um, looking at Sean's last performance against Leon, I really rated that performance. I thought he was solid. Really dominated that fight. And then you have obviously Ian's last fight against Prates. Really good result there. And then obviously a good performance as well against Shavkat. Not coming out with the win, but a really razor close decision there. Oh, it's a toss up. It's a toss up. I think if I was to give a prediction, I would say Ian decision if that fight was to happen.
And you did talk about a Shavkat fight a little bit. I think that was the fight. Even though he wasn't able to get the win, a lot of fight fans kind of turned for him. There was quite a
Mm,
few people who kind of thought his record was getting quite generous, let's just say, coming into that fight. However, he held his own against Shavkat, one of the top of that division, and then he's just defeated Prates in the way that he did. Just shows he is at that top level. He is ready for
yeah.
that kind of shot if he can get past Sean Brady.
Yeah, I'd love to see him get the opportunity just to see like another Irishman fight, and hopefully gain a title in the UFC. It'd be great, like I said, for the country, for the exposure for the country. Even like the win with Prates. I think Prates was fighting there the weekend, got that really good spinning elbow as well. So it's like he's now slouch either, So to get the win over him is a really good result for him as well. So yeah, I'd love to see Ian fight for that opportunity as well.
And obviously, you're not going to predict when you're going to get in there, but how many more fights? When you keep finishing the way you do inside that minute before Dana White picks up that phone and goes, "We need you in the contender series."
Ah, we'll see, Scott. We'll see. Like the first time, you could say it was a bit of a lucky one. The second time, okay, that's a little bit of a coincidence. If it happens for a third time, I don't know. I don't know. There's probably something in these hands that there's another power there. There's a bit of magic going on or something like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to getting in here. I'm looking forward to putting on a good performance and getting a really good result. And yeah, just showing what I'm made of. Just keep making noise until someone comes along and signs me up somewhere. That's what I'm hoping for.
So you're kind of looking after this fight to kind of secure a longer term deal with organization.
Yeah, exactly. Like we'll see what happens. I'm always gonna, look to get the best performance out of myself for the fight, get the best result possible, and just like raise my stock in
Yeah.
in MMA, in Irish MMA, and internationally, and get a bit of buzz going, get a bit of chatter going, and just making that noise.
Well, we can't wait to see you get back into that cage, get that victory, and keep doing what you're doing. Dana White will be getting that call very shortly. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out?
No, thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, hopefully I'll be on to chat with you again after the fight. But yeah, appreciate you having me on, and I'll chat to you soon. Okay.
Thank you.